Hey, what's up, Amit? This is Jasper here. I got your email, and I want to give you some feedback on your listing here. So first of all, I can tell that you're really trying to do a good job. You got some really good reviews here, so I can tell you're definitely passionate about being an Airbnb host, which is awesome. I do think you can make some improvements to your listing, man. So I've I've made a few notes here. So the first thing, before you even start building your listing, you got to ask yourself, who's your avatar? Who are you trying to market to? Who's that person that would love to stay at your place? Now, I know you're in Goa, so that's in India. I know it's a pretty popular tourist destination, right? So I'm assuming you're catering to tourists. I don't know if it's local tourists. Maybe now because of COVID, it's mostly local. But I imagine, when things open up again, you're going to be catering also to foreign tourists. So you got to ask yourself, what do those people want? And the next question is, how do I take the viewer through that experience of, what they what they can experience when they stay at your place? So I wrote down a couple things that your avatar would want when they stay at your place. So number one, they go to Goa, they probably want to relax on the beach. They want to eat local food. They want fast Wi-Fi. Everybody wants fast Wi-Fi. Air conditioning, hot shower. And then there's, a number of bonus items. If you have them, you definitely want to showcase them, like a pool, a gym, balcony, outside area, washer dryer, or, any other type of amenities that you think people would want, right? So you got to think about these things. This is my guess. Maybe there's some other stuff, but now the next question is, how do we showcase as much as these things on your listing, and in a way that people will see these things like as soon as they get to your listing. So you don't want to have it where they have to dig for the information, right? So it starts with the title, right? How can you display as much of these things in your title? So right now, your title is a luxury studio apartment near Palolem Beach, 500 meters away. So all the information that's in here is basically, so you're near the beach and you have a luxury studio apartment. Now, the problem I have with this title is, number one, it contains very little information. It's close to the beach and it's a studio apartment. You mentioned it's luxury. I'm not sure if I would consider your place luxury. And when I look at your accuracy rating, I see it's a 4.7, which means that some people, thought that your place wasn't 100% accurate. When I look at your photos, I think this is, definitely like it's a nice, comfortable studio. I don't know if I would call it luxury, especially if you're catering to foreigners. Foreigners might be used to, like more luxurious places. So I don't know, that might be setting the wrong expectations. So what I would suggest is actually, let me pull this up here. I might just change it to comfy, because that's just setting the expectations a little bit differently. And then how do we put as much of this information in here? Now I've noticed you have a pool, you have a gym. It's a small gym. So I don't know. It's up to you whether you think you should mention it there or not. Because if you say you have a gym and it's only like a treadmill and a couple loose weights, then you don't really want to call that a gym, right? So I haven't seen a picture of the gym, so I don't know. But if you have a decent gym, you can put it in there. But these are the things, right? It's like, I want to be close to the beach. Instead of 500 meters, I would actually say 5-minute walk, because people understand 5-minute walk. Not everybody understands distances. If you tell somebody, hey, it's 500 meters, some people don't know what meters are. You get like Americans, for example, they don't know what meters are. They only know feet. So they might get confused. They might not understand what that means. 5-minute walk, everybody understands that, right? Wi-Fi is super important. So I would definitely mention that in your title. You have a pool, which is awesome. Nearby restaurants, right? So this is how I would compose your title, and then your photos should really tell the story of what your avatar can experience, the things that they want. So when we look at your photos, right off the bat, this doesn't give me very much information. I can see. I mean, this first picture is right because I can see a lot of what you have to offer. I can see the entire studio, so I already know like, okay, this bed looks good. You got some towels. There's a kitchen. There's some place where I can put my clothes. So that looks good. But then, the other photos really don't give me much information at all. Okay, I already know that there's the bed, and I guess this might be a different room. Not 100% sure. So that's a bit confusing to me actually. Now I'm asking myself, is this the same bed as here? So that's something that you definitely want to clarify in the captions, right? Because this might be a separate room. But yeah, so other than I'm not getting a lot of information from this, because these two pictures are the same, so that doesn't add any information. This photo, the only information that I get in terms of what I'm looking for is the air conditioning here, right? So you might want to point that out, that you have the air conditioning in your caption. And I noticed you haven't used any captions, so those are the things you want to explain. In the caption here, I would write those things that I mentioned, right? It's like the Wi-Fi nearby the beach, the air conditioning. If you have a hot shower, you put that in there as well. The pool, just so that people immediately know, like, oh, there's all these things that I want, and Amit has these things. So then I want to stay with you, right? This photo is as well. It shows some greenery, which is awesome. But it's, it doesn't really give me too much information. So I would say go ahead and rearrange these photos and just ask yourself, like, every photo should add value. Every photo should show me a piece of the experience that I can have when I stay at your place. So when I scroll through your photos, it's like it's a lot of the same information, right? I already know all of this stuff from the first picture, really. Now you're showing here a pool, but it's unclear to me, like, hey, is this pool, like, where is this? Is this close to the house? Like, is it public? Is it shared? Like, I have no information about this pool. So I would take a much better picture of the pool and provide information, right? Opening hours. What's the deal with the pool, right? What's the accessibility? Like, how can I use it? How can I have the experience? It's good that you're showing some photos of like the outside, because one question that I would have as well is like, where is your unit? Like, where is it actually located? How can I get access? So you might want to take a picture of the outside and then, just kind of put an arrow in there to show like, hey, this is what it looks like from the outside. This is my unit. This is what it looks like around the house. And then again, like here, there's more photos of the same that just don't really add any information, right? Also, this picture doesn't look very attractive with the buckets here. I would remove all that stuff, and just show the shower and just let people know, like, hey, there's a hot shower, because that's what people, even especially foreigners, even though it's warm, I know it's warm in India, but people still like hot showers, right? Also, when you take a photo of the kitchen, I mean, that's good, but you wanna put a caption here and explaining like what you have, like, what's this thing over here? I'm not sure, is that a toaster or whatever that is. Hot water, I think this thing here creates hot water, which is good to know as well. But then most importantly, there's a lot missing here in these photos, right? Because if we go back to the things that your avatar is looking for, they want to relax on the beach. Okay, so what does the beach look like? All right, so I pulled it up here on Google Maps. Dude, this beach looks incredible. Like, this is exactly what I would want to do. So take a picture of the beach. You can take it from the internet, take it yourself, and then write in the caption. Write something like, imagine waking up and being able to be on this beach within 5 minutes, right? Also, one thing that people love is sunsets, right? And I think there's some incredible sunset at your place, right? So you gotta have one of those photos, and then you gotta write the caption. Imagine that this is the end of every one of your days, right? Imagine being able to indulge in the beauty of the sunset every single day. That's what people want, and that's what you need to showcase. So going back to and then also, what I would do as well is, I know your place is somewhere around here. You can actually put your place on Google Maps. Right, that's actually something that I've done with my places. So go ahead and just name it Amit's Awesome Studio, whatever you want to name it, and actually put it on Google Maps, and then people will actually be able to find your place on Google. But for now, I know your place is somewhere close to this cafe here. And so what I would do as well is I would take a screenshot to really show to people how close it is, right? So imagine this is your place on Google Maps. You just simply take a screenshot of that, add it to your listing, and put a caption of like, hey, according to Google, you could be on the beach in 2 minutes, right? And that goes back to the accuracy as well of your information, right? Because I noticed you have a 4.7 on accuracy. So apparently, there's some people who didn't find your listing accurate. So the more accuracy you can add. Same for the Wi-Fi. It's like, do a speed test. Just go to speedtest.net and just run the speed test, right? So then people know exactly what to expect. If your internet is not fast, then maybe you don't want to put that screenshot, but then you also don't want to really advertise, because there's nothing worse than slow internet. It's even better to have no internet than having slow internet. But if you have a decent speed, if you have more than like 10 Mbps, like for example, my test here shows 16.7, which is actually kind of low, but I think that's that way you provide accuracy to the information that you provide, right? So I would add that to your listing as well. And then also, when I look at Google Maps, there's a ton of little restaurants around your place, right? I'm looking at this place, Cheeky Chili, Fisherman's Local. I mean, this is the stuff that people want to do, right? They want to eat local food. So, put a picture like this or a picture like this, and write in the caption like, hey, you could be eating like these delicious local foods right next to my house, right? Because they are right next to your house. So that's something that you want to showcase too, right? So really think about the experience. Like, you're not running out of space; you're providing an experience for your avatar. Awesome. So let's go back to the list here. Air conditioning, that's really important, especially for foreigners. So you want to make that very, very clear in your listing. So I think that should be, you mention it in your caption, or I might even have, one picture where you're just putting a big circle around the AC and just with a big arrow, and then in the caption you write like, in my studio, you can cool the studio down to X temperature so that you can have an amazing night of sleep, and you won't be hot. And then also hot shower is something that you definitely want to mention if you have it. And then the bonuses, the pool, the gym, the balcony. I know you showed that. The washer dryer. I noticed there's a washer dryer in your unit. But I kind of had to put on my Sherlock Holmes hat to find it, right? Because it's right here. Now, I know you listed it in your amenities, but you gotta understand, most people on Airbnb are not gonna be digging through here. All right, this is where I found your Wi-Fi as well, and this is where I found the pool and the gym. So these are things that you want to highlight in your photos, because if people don't find what they're looking for quickly, they're gonna go to a different page. They're going to go to a different Airbnb listing. So don't rely on people reading this stuff, because they probably won't. Unless they book, they might start digging. But yeah, I looked at the amenities here, and it's like, oh, you have a dedicated workspace. It's like, oh, you have an iron, you have a dryer, you have a washer, you have hangers, you have all this stuff, but it's not clear from the photos that you have that, right? Because it's very easy to overlook this. But that's for your convenience, right? If you're traveling, it's convenient to have a washer dryer at the unit. So something you definitely want to highlight. All right, so that's about it, man. So I think make some improvement. Add some photos of the restaurants. Really think about that experience, and then I think you could really attract some more guests with your Airbnb listing, man. So hope this is helpful, and go crush it, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.